Hey y'all, this is Bre'Anna Jay and
Vanay.
And we want to say thank you for tuning in to our very first episode of Don't Speak For Us. First off, let me say you can like, share, comment, subscribe, do whatever you got to do to get this podcast to anybody you know, whether it be your friends, your family, or your loved ones.
We really hope that, this speaks to someone. We really hope to encourage women like us. Even men too, if y'all tuning in. I know we want to make an impact. Like, we want this to go somewhere. So support us, guys, please and thank
you. So today's topic, we would like to talk about the perspective of a single parent household, or is it more so like the fatherless?
Growing up without a dad, y'all. I know many of y'all could relate.
So you want to share your story first? You want to do our story first? Huh? You want to go first? Okay, so what's my story growing up? My parents were probably divorced in about 94, and I remember my dad being in and out of the house, which definitely played a part of my life, I would say. I think the time that I needed him most was probably every time that I remember that he wasn't there. As an adult, I think the hardest part about it is that he's breathing, he's in good health, and we're kind of just on two sides of the earth. And so sometimes you don't realize as an adult when you need your parents the most. I think that's more important than anything. That's just my perspective to kind of say it without saying it into detail. What you think? What you think?
That sums it up.
But what's okay? So I don't want to say too much. I want you to be able to tell your perspective without me knowing and saying. Does that make sense? I don't want to really tell your story. I want you to be able to share your story so that they can actually experience it from different perspectives.
So with me, I have very memories of my father ends at 5 years old. I don't remember him being in the household much. So with me, being older and with more understanding, I realized that my dad didn't really play the role of a man that he should have with me growing up. I only remember him being in the household up until I was maybe 5 years old. And I always remember that he never worked. My mom was always the one working, the breadwinner in the household. What he did was chase after women. He got different women pregnant. Even me, my older sister is only 3 months older than me. We were born in the same year. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm an only child. And I just don't really have a lot of memories of my father. I think I would sporadically see him every 6 months. I think, and that's a guesstimation. I would sometimes, in weird ways, catch him in public places, like the grocery store or church. And I'm like, hey, what you doing here? Not what you doing here, but long time no see. Where you at? It's just been a lot. And even as an adult, it just, I think I got to 21 and that's when I realized I needed my dad. I wanted him to be in my life. I wanted him to be a part of my life because just going through life, it just really, it did something to me personally not to have him there. I think for me, it was the confidence issue. I think I was always second guessing myself through my teens and early 20s. Well, majority of my 20s. I second guessed myself, but I felt like it was only one thing that I could do better than anything else, and so that was the thing that I always floored on. But with relationships, with just people in general, sometimes I would choose people and they would reflect my father in weird ways. Whew. That's a that's a touchy, you know, even with me in relationships, I've dealt with certain people and I didn't realize, like, just going down the line as I start to know myself and learn myself more, I would see those characteristics. I'm like, dang, this guy be in and out. You know what I mean? Like, or dang, we're not really communicating. You know, like, you just see certain characteristics. I don't know. I mean, I say, as a woman in adulthood now and dating, what about yourself?
You know, I had a lot of failed relationships, and I feel like, you know, kind of on the same page as you, like attracting the men that has like the characteristics like my father. And you know, with me and my dad, like, he never really checked on me. Like, he was the type of father who would call me on my birthday every year just to say happy birthday. But the whole year, like, I don't hear from you.
Yeah. Same.
So I struggled with like abandonment issues. I struggled with rejection. I struggled with low self-esteem.
Rejection.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like
you don't ever feel good enough, and when somebody turns you down, it's like,
you take it hard. Yes.
And it's always, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me for you to turn me down? But the truth is nothing wrong with us. It's really that our hearts are over caring for that person, and we're giving them a little bit more energy than they're giving us. So that makes it, I just had to put that in.
I get you though.
Because rejection is a big thing when it comes to not having your father in your life, because again, you have to find a connection. So the disconnect for me is that I didn't feel accepted. I felt rejected by my father. So for me, not my business, man. Let me fix that. So for me, rejection played a part because I didn't feel accepted by my father. That was the point. Yeah, that was the point. Sorry, continue.
Even like, I feel like I didn't have the best example of male roles in my life. Not having my father, I didn't know what love looked like from a male figure. So I feel like I attracted, because I feel like I like, my heart is so big that I would find the guys that would take advantage of me.
It's so weird. To me, it's so weird how you don't even realize how you attract these type of guys. But somehow in the pattern, once you realize it, it's like a flashlight. I mean, it's like a light turning on, and you just like, okay, you like, hell no. But I mean, it's like a wake up call. But for the most part, it's like, how do you detect these men? Because sometimes,
oh my God,
my question for that was, I feel like the guys that I dated, it was a lot of love bombing going on, and then the true colors came out.
Yes, exactly.
And then once you see that person, you know, I feel like it's important to see a person in all seasons, because you see that you know, you see the mask on, and then that mask on, you be like, who is that? That's not the person I signed up to be with. And then sometimes I think, for me personally, like, I had this thing where my toxic trait was falling in love with people's potential. I see who you are, and I hold on to that, because I feel like your foundation is what makes you great. And then I had to learn, like, okay, you got to stop falling in love with people's potential, because they'll only be as good as they say they are. And if they don't want to change, then for us, it's not to make them change. But I think for me, I definitely kept saying, well, I want you to be better. I want you to be greater. You're this, you're smart, you're that. You could do this. And I was just pouring so much of my cup into them that I was just running thin. And not realizing that you do it because we just have this thing with rejection where we wanted to be cared for so bad.
Yeah.
We just wanted to be the love that we have, and we felt like the way it should go, we wanted to be reciprocated.
Speaking of toxic trait, I feel like we're on the same page. Because with me, I feel like I would try and over love someone. I would try and overly do everything, over serve you, over cater to you, overdo this. And even if you're treating me bad, like even if you're treating me wrong and stuff like that, like I feel like I had to be loyal to you. Like I would not abandon you like I was abandoned until I can't take it anymore. And it's like I'm at my breaking point.
One. Sorry, we're back. We had a baby. And she's definitely like active right now.
Yeah, she want to be part of this.
Yeah.
She like, I got something to say.
Yeah.
Because, let me be quiet.
Okay, so my question for you, as a mom, how does it play a part with your partner missing in action? Like how does that look like?
I feel like what I do is I blame myself. Like,
But why?
it's times where I'll look at Serenity and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, this is mommy's doing. Because if I would have picked the right person, then, you know, you wouldn't have to experience life like I experienced it without my father.
You know, for me, I think this is probably a hard thing to say. I think I chose not to have children because I don't want to repeat the process. And it's not that I don't want them. It's just that because of all the people that I've dealt with, and only I can count very few of them are good on my hands. I'm real precise with my partners. I'm picky. So I've learned about myself, and I say, you know, to me it just has to make sense. Like if I'm gonna be being this submissive, loving wife, you know, and I have my own definition of submission. I ain't talking about lay down by the riverside and just do whatever you say. I'm just saying I have no problem with trusting a person to lead as long as I feel that they can lead. What were characteristics that you noticed in each person that was similar to your father? So we said rejection, we said love bombing. You mean like 3 more? Absence, okay.
Yeah. I would say they weren't emotionally there.
So emotionally disconnected. And
I would say that they weren't as thoughtful, if that makes sense.
So they weren't like attentive.
I felt like I was always giving more, doing more, exhausting myself more.
Okay.
I felt like I was the giver and they were always on the receiving end.
So you you've always been a person to give love, but not been able to receive
the way that I give.
Desire, because most people that we've attracted were people who were not emotionally available.
Unavailable, yeah.
Yeah, they were emotionally unavailable. Okay, yeah, that's tough. That's tough for the both of us because I can relate to that. You know how many times I ran into somebody and they were emotionally unavailable, and I was like, this is not what I asked for. This is not what I signed up for, because I need somebody to love me. All 5 love languages. I mean, we can start with the first one, but I want them all. I know that sounds crazy, but
no, it don't, because I feel like the type of person that I am, like I pay attention to a lot. I serve, I feel like it's within me to like nurture and serve and all type of stuff. I feel like I'm so thoughtful to a guy, like when it comes to like from the beginning to the end. I feel like I deserve a man who will put the toothpaste on my toothbrush every morning.
Say that. Period. Rub my
teeth. I would do it for you.
If I say ow and I break a fingernail, like, what we do? What we need to fix? What's the problem? Like, that's how I feel, because it's just like, it sucks. I don't think it's nothing more worse, and people be thinking, oh, you being a hater, but I'm not really being a hater. It's nothing worse than seeing other people be happy and you're happy for these people. You're truly happy, but you know that you're not happy, and you desire those things. Imagine going through life, and this is something that really just struck a nerve with me. I get emotional like during the holidays sometimes because I don't have my father. I haven't had my father, and I go around other family members and they have my uncle and they have my granddaddy and they have, you know what I'm saying? Like they have their fathers.
Yeah. Even looking on like social media when you see like these instances with the father and the daughter.
Yeah.
I didn't have that on my wedding day. My dad didn't even come to my wedding.
That touches my heart in so many ways that you have no idea, because there's so many girls out there that are fatherless girls. They're fatherless children, or guys that are fatherless. And the guys usually, they might not be as emotional as we are because we're like logically driven. So, and that's just my opinion, but they are literally like angry. A lot of them are angry, and if they're hurt, they don't show it because they're taught not to hurt. They're taught not to show or break a sweat when something affects them, which sometimes that make it hard to really date a person. But it's like, I want you to be emotionally vulnerable so that I can be there to support you. Like, and it's not like it doesn't make you less than a man to shed a tear or feel something. But I've learned that a lot of people are emotionally unavailable. Yeah. And that's so scary, because when you get into a relationship you don't really know, or you just trying to date alone, it makes it hard. I think that's something that I'm gonna try not to speak for you specifically, but for me, when I'm going in now, the heart emoji eyes, as I say it now, they are. Because I want to see the bad. I want to see the ugly. I want to see if I really push your buttons. I want to see how bad you become. Like, and if it's something I can deal with, or can I not deal with it?
I don't blame you,
a deal breaker for me.
It took 2 years for me to see one of my ex's true sides.
It took me 10. I'm just now seeing it, and I was like, oh. I mean, you see things and you just like, dang, why did I see that all these years?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I feel like the relationships that I attracted in my past, like, they weren't deserving of me.
Girl, if I went down the list, none of them deserve. Well, I take that back. Some did deserve me, and I knew that I had to come to a realization that I was emotionally unavailable as well. Sometimes you give and you think that you're able to receive, and you're not. Because I had an amazing, I had, very few from teens to through my 20s. I've had a few that were like, dang, you lit. But I wasn't ready for you. Or it was something that turned me off from them. Like, yeah, it's like, is he suspect? Or is he, like, I don't feel like he have enough experience because he's a little younger than me, or it might be something that made me just run away. But I also had this image of my person in my mind, and that'll get you in trouble too. You have an image that you see your person, and fooling with God, you know what I'm saying? If you really rock with God like you say you do, your person is not gonna be nothing like what you saw in the image. So,
guys, when I say like the people in my past didn't deserve me, I hope I don't sound like conceited or anything, or whatever the case is. What I mean by that is that the type of person that I am, how caring I am, and how I am in a relationship, I feel like for instance, one of my exes, they were abusive towards me. I didn't deserve abuse. My other, I'm not gonna name any names.
A narcissist.
Very much so.
I'm sorry.
Did a lot of gaslighting.
You gotta call it as you see it, and I'm not being rude, but some people, they just don't deserve it.
He always played the victim, and with me, like, I used to blame myself. Like, he used to play the victim a lot, and I used to blame myself. Like, I need to get it right. But now that I've learned from that relationship, I see like a lot of things. Like, my eyes have opened. Like blaming myself, and it's never his fault, it's always my fault.
You've gone through the experience, but I've seen the experience. And I'm one of those people I'll look at the experience and I'll say, Don't want that. You can cut that off the list, cut that off the list, cut that off the list. And before you know, I done cut the whole list. Because it's just like, it's just certain things to me is a deal breaker. But for me, I feel like I'm very compromising. I'm very accommodating. And
you know what I think? I think with us not having a father present in our lives, I think we missed a lot of red flags when it comes to these men.
girl, red flag. You just throw the box would be sitting right in front of me.
The flag like waving.
It's the thrill for me. Girl, I was like, you know, you get older, you start needing more, you start wanting more. That little fine 21-year-old that you was dating in your early 20s don't do it for you.
Guys, it was a lot of warning signs, and it's just like, I'm gonna go see for myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see for myself. And then next thing you know, you like, I should have listened.
Yeah, I feel like it was many red flags. Like the flag was literally waving, but we was just like, you know, I'm gonna go see for myself. I see the potential.
Fail. If I give anybody word of advice, don't ever go for somebody's potential. Actions speak louder than words.
That's another thing.
Like, make sure that the words match with the actions.
That's another thing.
Because somebody tell you, one thing I can tell you that I settled for in life was a lot of broken promises.
Inconsistencies were mine.
Inconsistency and a lot of broken promises. A man will literally tell you, oh, I'm coming to see you. Oh, I'm coming to see you. Oh, I'm coming to see you. And a month done roll by, a week done roll by, a year done roll by, and you like, you know what? I don't got time for this.
And that's another thing with my dad. It was a lot of inconsistencies. He would be like, I'm gonna come see you this day. You, as a kid, you're waiting, you're excited, you're like, I haven't seen you, and then it's disappointments one after the other.
Very much.
So I settled, I believe, in my relationships when it came to that. Cause I'm like, I see the potential for you to change.
Yes, that was the number. So, yes. The one thing I can say is, what were we talking about?
Like, I see the potential for you to change.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I see the potential for you to change. Another red flag, and I'm gonna tell you it's another red flag because a person will show you their intent immediately. Like, literally just sit and talk to a person. Have a conversation with them. And you will just let them talk. Just let them talk. And they will tell you what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. And literally you will see them make those changes, those transformations. I believe one thing about a partner, especially men in general, they just have this priority. And so whether it's going to go get a haircut, whether it's going to go get their shoes, them Jordans they like to buy, whether it's going to go wash that car or watch a football game, basketball game, whatever it is your favorite sport, they're going to get it done. They're going to work it out. They're going to adjust their schedule, whatever it is. And I feel like with women, they do the same thing. And if you're important to them,
if you're a priority,
they're going to make it be known. They're going to make sure they call you every day. They're going to make sure they text you every day. They're going to ask you what you ate today. Are you okay? Do you need your back rubbed? Whatever they're going to ask you, and you ain't going to have to say it. You're not going to have to say it because a real partner is attentive. They will watch you and they will observe you and they will understand what your love language is. So I think that's for me. I definitely was a person like, oh, don't worry about that. Cause for me personally, I'm just one of those girls. When I love you, I'm gonna spoil you. Like, especially if you spoiling me, I'm going to spoil you. Even if I don't have it, it might not be a new pair of shoes. It might not be a new car, but I know you want a good cooked meal, or I know, you know what I'm saying, you like your house clean, or I know that you like if you like your clothes pressed out, you know what I'm saying? I watched my grandmother growing up, and that was her, the submissive housewife. Yeah. She would, and like I said, she had her own personality, she had her own persona. She was a witty woman, you know what I mean? And she catered, and all she wanted was love. That's all she wanted.
And that's the thing. I feel like in a relationship, I will try to outlove you.
Competition.
But I feel like it should work both
Healthy
ways.
Competition.
Yes.
It's supposed to work both ways.
But it always was like a one-sided thing.
Yeah.
So when I noticed that, I felt like so now I'm feeling like, okay, you're taking me for granted. I'm not appreciated. I begin to shut down. So all those things that I was doing for you before, I pull back.
And you start second guessing things.
Exactly.
You start questioning, why am I even here with this in this situation?
Yeah.
Why did I even go forward and taking a shot at this? Or why did I even?
It's like losing
you.
It's like losing motivation.
Yeah,
to do those things anymore.
Definitely.
Because it's not appreciated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a lot. I think as an adult now, like an adult in my 30s. I'm not gonna tell y'all what my real age is. Oh. I'm proud of my age, but I'm just saying I'm not gonna tell y'all. It's not y'all business. If I could say anything, if I could give any girl advice that don't have their father, we do this thing where we second guess ourselves, we question ourselves as human beings. Are we good enough? The truth is that you are good enough, and if you do anything else, if you do nothing else, you need to pour into yourself. Exactly. People can say it's conceited. People can say it's, they can say what they can say it's cocky. They can say whatever they want to say. At the end of the day, pour into yourself, because you're gonna need that more than anything if they're absent. When you get ready to reach greater heights, when you're trying to invent something, create something, start something new, and you question it because you don't have your dad in the background rooting for you, saying that's my baby, you got to tell yourself it's gonna be hard days. You don't have to get up and just do it afraid.
Yeah. I mean, guys, even the Bible say God will be a father to the fatherless, and that's what's gotten me through all these years. Like, seriously. Yeah. And my mommy.
Yeah, and my mommy. Okay?
Shout out to my
mommy. Woman. Shout out to my mommy. By the way, they didn't want to be strong women. They had to be.
Exactly.
And people mistaken them and the independent woman for, I don't need nobody else. No, we didn't have nobody else. We out here looking for the village. Where's the village?
Exactly.
Where are you guys? Now I had a village. I'm not gonna sit up here and say I have a village.
I had a village.
But what I'm saying is the average person don't have a village, and the single mom is like, where's the village? So if she ain't got no village, and at the end of the day she don't have no support, what does she have to do? She got to get up and do things that she wouldn't normally do to make sure that her baby eat, her baby sleep well, and her baby have clothes on her back.
So one thing about like the fatherless homes, I feel like with the dad already being absent, now the child has to, have a mother who's absent, not because she wants to be absent, but because she's taking on both roles and having to work and provide for her child. She's not there, physically there for that child.
I feel like that's true because they're working hard, they're working long hours. I remember my mom being gone sun up, sun down, literally, and I was pretty independent probably by middle school. I personally just feel like when your dad is missing, it costs you the bond. Like, I feel like me and my mom's relationship didn't get better until probably mid-20s to going into my 30s. Like, I think our relationship now is better than it's ever been.
Same.
But there was a lot of times I felt like my mom was absent. She didn't really get to see a lot of my extracurricular activities. Anytime I was singing or performing or doing stuff, like a lot of stuff she missed, and it was hard for me. I remember graduating from a program for IT and she wasn't there either. Like, and it was, I don't know why, but it was more so like a common thing. Like, you just used to it.
Yeah.
And in no way, shape, form should it be that way. But it's just kind of like, one day it took me to really sit back and say, how did this affect my mom? How did it, change her for the better or for the worse? Like, one thing I can say is my mom never really dogged my father. Like, when I would ask questions, she would never say anything bad about him. She would always say, talk to him. She would always say, spend time with him. But I just never felt comfortable because, again, I have an African father. Like, I know we're all African American, but I have a Nigerian father. So culture and customs are just different from that side of the perspective versus being American. In America, we're more relaxed on a lot of things. So it just kind of was like, I never really saw how it affected my mom, and if she feel like, you know, I don't know if my mom was beating herself up for making the decision of who she chose to be my father, but she never really talked about it. But I know for a fact that it probably affected her in some way. And just like you was apologizing to Serenity, like, I think at one point my mom probably apologized to me too. But my mom doesn't really vocalize a lot of things. You kind of have to pull it out of her. So, you know, for me, that's what made me want to fight for me and my mom's relationship. Any closing remarks?
I mean, I know it's many of you guys out there that can relate to whether it's Bree's story or mine's. We just want to encourage you guys, like, you know, it's okay. Like, I mean, we're still here. We're still strong in that shade.
Strong and thriving. Just we out here. I think we flourishing. Flourishing. If
one thing about women, we gonna figure it out.
Yeah. With or without a man, it's a thing for us. It's like a natural instinct for us to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's not because we don't want to. It's because I think it's in us. Like, I think, I don't know. I just feel like it's our job. Like, we're nurturers. We care. We worry about people's well-beings on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. And then when you have a child, then, you know, it literally, you pop that child out. It's like, I can't not go without feeding this child. The good mothers, because I know it's some bad out there that will just pop out that child and keep it moving. That's a different topic.
I think even in our adult age, it still kind of affects us.
Oh, I know it do. I know it do. I'm going to tell you what's more hurtful than anything is that some people are like, yeah, my parents are gone and I don't have them around. It's nothing worse than feeling like you're alone and your parents are existing and they're breathing and they're just living their lives. Like, and you can't talk to them like you don't exist. And you can't talk to them and you can't check in with them. And we've been trying to finish this podcast, but there's a little ladybug that insists that she be included. She said there's no INT. Serenity, you want to tell us how it affects you as a baby? No comment? Oh, that's nice. Okay. And there you have it. So this concludes our podcast, our first episode for Don't Speak For Us. Tune in every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And we hope that you guys come and like, share, comment, subscribe, support. Leave some comments. Tell us how you feel if you are a fatherless child or if you are a product.
We want to hear your story.
We want to hear your story. Yeah. Share. Please share. Share. If you have someone out there that needs support, that needs love, they need encouragement, feel free to hit us in the DMs, and we're here. So
you guys can DM me. I'll pray for you.
Yeah,
prayer works, y'all.
It works. That's it. We will see you guys later. Say mwah. Tell
bye.
Say
bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
Yeah, say mwah.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.